What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY in the overall market real quick. Just know that I am not a financial planner. So tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, September 10th. And keep in mind that at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, an hour before the stock market opens, we have the PPI data report coming out. This is very important for inflationary data. It'll help us understand what's happening with the wholesale side of things. Now, PPI is expected to be a little bit tame, so hopefully this isn't too bad. Hopefully this maybe even like helps the markets, or it could even be like a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of reaction. We look a bit more bullish approaching PPI, so we might try to hold above 650 and approach the all-time high on SPY. But afterwards, we're going to see if SPY kind of pushes to the all-time high and then rejects, because the last time we touched 652, we got this big rejection, or we could even just reject near where we currently are. But it all depends on PPI. Do we see SPY just break out past 652 and just continue to rally like this to new all-time highs, or do we kind of push to 652 and then kind of slump down and just reject back down? Both of these are very, very possible, but it depends on PPI, and I can't make promises about this. So if you're holding anything overnight, the market will likely gap up or gap down depending on our inflationary numbers tomorrow morning. So it's the risk you want to take if you want to hold anything overnight, and that is up to you guys. I'm just here to give you guys a warning about that. So if you don't want to hold anything overnight and risk it, that's your choice. Just heed my warning in case you guys are doing anything like that. For the triple Q, if we reject near 580 to 582, PPI could be decent. We could still see a move like this, or we could just break past 582 and break to new all-time highs. It could go either way. It depends on what happens with this very, very important PPI report. So be prepared and watch your levels very, very closely. On the IWM, we could be breaking out to 240 plus, or we could lose 234 to dump. Could go either way. So we're going to see if we break past 240 to make new all-time highs, or if we reject and turn back down below 234. On ES, we're looking a little bit more bullish. We're favoring the all-time high. If we lose 64.85, we're dumping back down. So we could gap up or gap down tomorrow depending on PPI for tomorrow. NQ could be once again approaching this high over here around 23,900. If we break that, this could be looking for the all-time high. But if we end up losing essentially 23,749, we could turn back down. So it could go either way. Bitcoin's rejecting here. We're going to be looking for essentially 109,000 or below. Or if we're bullish, you want to get back above 112,000. Tesla is kind of flat here. We're going to see if we end up dipping or not. If we break 350, we're bullish, but if we lose 344, there's a gap to fill to 338. So I'd say to be careful with Tesla. Nvidia is looking more bullish, favoring 171, but it also depends on what happens with our data tomorrow. AMD hit my target of 355. It could continue if that breaks for 157.5. So 155 broke for 157. That's going to be our next potential target. Coinbase needs to hold above 318. If it does, we're looking for 322. Looks pretty bullish so far. Amazon's breaking out for now. We're approaching this resistance around this 240 area. Looking at Meta, we're basically approaching 780. Google's looking more bullish, approaching 242. And Microsoft is also holding up well. We could be looking for an attempt for 501 plus. As long as you don't end up losing essentially 495, I could see this consolidate and try to bounce. The VIX is still dipping as the market remains bullish. So for now, the bulls have the edge. But be careful because we're approaching the all-time high on SPY. We're not too far from all-time highs on the QQQ. And we'll see what happens with this data that's coming out. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have an awesome rest of your guys' days. And I'll be back in a couple of hours for a more in-depth update. Until then, I wish you all the best and peace out.